States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. I want to welcome those in the audience tonight, and this is the time we'll have comments. Please stand and state your name and address for us. Before you begin talking. Yes.
Kathy Smallberger, 421 Groveland Avenue. I used to call it, we're having a benefit for the Hicks girls. They live with a single mom, and she's dying of cancer. And so we're going to have the benefit on August 24th from 2 to 8 at the American Legion. And we would like for the board to participate in the event.
Thank you for having us.
August 24th. The two girls go to school here and the mom went to school here.
Thank you, Mrs. Small. Any other comments? Okay, on to action items. E1. Need a motion, please?
Well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
A second, please.
Yes, yeah, exactly. On page 2 of the regular board meeting minutes, item E11, we will make a revision to this item. So, motion to approve the 2013-14 school parent handbook as presented. The board discussed the lunch price increases, the head lice issues, and other smaller handbook revisions. Lunch discussion. The board discussed lunch price increase from $1.75 to $1.80 for lunch, and breakfast price from 90 cents to $1. Just to include that comment there. Oh. Really? Oh.
Noted lunch increase from $1.75 to $1.80, breakfast from 90 cents up to $1 on the 11th, item E11 of the minutes. Correct.
That should have been brought up before we
Whoops, wait a minute. I'm sorry.
Did we talk about this, about bringing up changes before we make the motion, so we don't have to make adjustments to the motion?
Adjust the motions.
And then what it was, but
Okay.
I
What?
think we could revise minutes is what we've done in the past.
Yes.
Ready?
Approval of
Yeah.
board minutes as revised, and I think that is to accept the consent agenda as presented or revised. So at this point, we have a revision.
So I amend the motion to approve the consent agenda as revised.
Mrs. Cagle is trying to tell you that there is, in E11, no one made a motion. So,
Yeah.
so it needs to be revised.
There you go. Yeah. that is on our charts, on our chart. Six. There you go. You should have before you the June treasurer's report. We did not have that time for inclusion into the board packet, but you should have one at your seat.
Motion to approve the waste management agreement as presented.
Discussion.
This is the same contract that we had in the past.
Yes, ma'am. This is a 3-year agreement with Waste Management Systems, which has been our garbage company for a while now. I did not look to see the rate increase, if there was an increase or not on this, but there is an option for paperless billing that will give us an annual savings of $96. So I would suggest that we take that option. I discussed that with Ms. Cornwell, and she was amenable to all of that. So we will exercise that option if the board so chooses. Thank you. That's great.
All in favor?
Good.
And roll call, please. Linda Bailey. Cam Brennan. Brenda Cagle. Val Reagan. Sheila Tripp. Rebecca Kern. Judy Scott. Yes. Motion carried.
Item 3.
I make a motion to approve the student activity fund report for LaSalle School as presented.
This is just about April.
This is LaSalle Activity Fund from April 31st, 2012 through, May 31st, 2012 through May 31st, 2013. April was pulled out. April was pulled out because that was the 1 month that was not in the previous board packet. So that's why that's kind of separate. We tabled the vote last month. There was no vote on the entire, discussion of motions regarding student activity fund reports for LaSalle and Parkview schools. We tabled LaSalle schools reports. We did not discuss them at all, and so that we can include the April edition into this month. So it would be for the entire, to approve the activity report for the South School as presented. Motion? Oh, I'm sorry, then I missed who. I'm sorry.
I made the motion.
Okay. Second.
Linda Bailey. Pam Griner. Brenda Cagle. Val Reagan. Julie Truitt. Rebecca Kern. Judy Strong.
Sorry about that.
Motion carried.
I was too busy talking. Okay. E4.
Before I do this, as presented, or do I need to add like as in the past, we got every number of every press policy?
Okay. What I would like to do is to go ahead and read them all off so that we know which ones we are approving tonight. But I need to withdraw the last two in the motion. Okay? So 617 EAP1, E1, and AP1.
I didn't think we had to approve APs. Never approved APs. Always, we need to approve them.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
The APs,
Mhm.
always approved, they are board approved, but there's no need for versus readings. And the exhibits the same way.
Oh, well, we've never been listed, I guess, because we've never said AP1 or anything. That's stuff. We just say numbers. That's fine.
We don't always have one.
So we're taking off which ones?
The last two that are on that motion.
On this sheet.
The same one I believe so.
Well, there's just a lot of numbers. I'm not going to.
Yes, ma'am.
Through a whole. Okay, I make a motion to accept press policies number 2.125, 4.15, 4.170, 5.50, 7.190, 7.305, 8.20, 2.250 AP2, 4.60 AP2, 4.110 AP2, 4.170 AP2, 4.170 AP6, 5.73, 5.30 AP2, 6.60 AP, 6.170 AP1, 6.170 AP2, 6.170 AP3, 6.40 AP, 7.20 AP, 8.95 AP, 4.50E, 4.170 AP2 through E1, 5.190 E1, 5.190 E2, 5.190 E3, 6.250 E, as presented.
Yes, yes, I do. There was three that way, two this way, sorry. was on these specific policies, there was some correction. There were some corrections, not corrections, but additions to these policies, and they are underlined. And those things that we took out are struck through. In policy 2:125, this was brought to our attention a couple meetings ago regarding this policy was accepted and revised and accepted in January of this year, but it did not include the board's specific prohibition against purchase of alcohol at board functions. Okay, so we have added the district will not be responsible for alcoholic beverages reimbursing board members. Not that you can't partake, but the district will not pay for it. That was in your original policy. And then the policy that was adopted in January did not have that prohibition. So this is just going back to your original policy. All right? And 4170. 4170 has a couple revisions that were just, they were legal issues, but specific to our school district. And you'll see on the back of page 1, there's some strike through. And that paragraph there talks about movable soccer goals safety. Illinois school code was revised to include this, but since we do not utilize movable soccer goals, it's not applicable to our school district, so we have struck through that. If you go to the next page, unsafe school option, I'm sorry. Front of the last page. There's some strike through about unsafe school options and transfers of our students to other schools if any of our schools were to be determined unsafe school options or unsafe schools by the State Board of Education. The issue with this is that we're not allowing other students to come in. We don't have anywhere to send our students, so we strike through that paragraph and insert footnote number 18, the last portion of that footnote, that reads, the unsafe school choice option provided in state law permits students to transfer to another school within the district in certain situations. This transfer option is unavailable in this district because each grade is only in one attendance center. A student who would otherwise have qualified for the choice option or such a student's parents and guardian may request special accommodations from the superintendent or designee. Right? So we would add that provision into that policy. So those were two small additions and deletions into those two policies. But otherwise, everything else was as presented in your press policy yellow sheets.
So this includes two of them, the P2 and P6.
To EP6, yes.
Comments? Having none, roll call please.
Linda Bailey.
There's a motion again, I don't need all the numbers, I just need,
To accept the press policies numbered as presented. Pam Griner.
last night I just came down.
Okay. We can amend the motion, or we can just vote? No. Just say first reading. problem with that.
I'll amend the motion to include first reading.
Of policies and approval of the APs and exhibits.
First reading.
Okay. I amend the motion to include the first reading of recommended press policies that I read through. I'm not going through them as presented.
And approval
I am
of,
clear.
approval of administrative procedures and exhibits as presented. Thank you, Mr. Drew.
Now we can do a
Okay.
roll call.
Yeah, if we could just go ahead and start all over.
Linda Bailey. Kim Ryder. Wendy Kringle. Val Reagan. Julie True.
Aye.
Becky Kern. Yes. Judy Strong. Yes. Rashid.
Go on to. We're now on to section of informational items. This month we had, it's incumbent upon the superintendent to bring to you all Freedom of Information Act requests that have been submitted to the school district. We have had 3 sets of requests, and the request and the, request and the responses from the school district and the supporting detail have been included in your board packet. These were transmitted and in a timely manner. So these are just for information. And I did receive back correspondence from Mr. Giddens on that, thanking us for the request in the documents. So, thank you for that. Next item, F2. You'll see that we have received a notice from the district's law firm, the notice of the increased rate structure for this year. I've included in your packet the letter from Miller Hall and Triggs, our school attorneys, dated June 26, 2013, that shows the rate structure. And then I also included last year's rate structure letter from the law firm. And you'll see that there has been a modest increase in their attorney's fees. Next is here. Tax increment finance district funds. There were some questions regarding placement of funds in tax that were reimbursed or sent to the school district. Caswell County refunded the school district $178,000 to the district in TIF revenue. It was determined at the time that that money would be placed in the operations and maintenance fund. There were questions regarding the appropriateness of that action, and after having an opinion rendered by the school attorneys and our auditor, it was determined that the district received the money, and you're able to place that money in the account that's in most in need, which you determined was the operation and maintenance fund. So the actions of the school district in the use of those TIP funds was proper under Illinois school code and the accounting practices.
I have a question. I appreciate you looking into this. What would be the repercussions if later down the road, the state were to say, no, this isn't where it should have been? Do you have any idea what would be done?
We have our auditor and our legal opinion. So the district's recourse, obviously, is to present all of that to the State Board of Education. But what could they do on whether or not we place it in the appropriate fund? Well, they can't take the money away from us because it is our money, exactly. So I don't know that there would be any kind of repercussions that would be financial or legal or non-compliance. I've never heard of the State Board of Education doing anything like that unless it's money that they've given you, and then they'll take it back. Okay? So this is our money, and placement in the funds under the accounting standards and the legal standards, placing them in the fund of most need is a determination of the school board, and the State Board of Education usually doesn't get involved in local discretion like that. So I don't know that there would be anything that the state board could do to the school district.
I understand what you're saying, but I also think that took place for 23 years. On that 24th year, it should have been just read.
We were not a part of that.
Right.
The school district was not a part of that TIF continuing on. That was a mistake by Caswell County. So the district was just a recipient of those funds. So really, it's the Caswell County board's problem, so to speak. If there's a taxpayer objection of some type, then that's their problem, not ours. Yeah. Nope, no problem. All right. Next item is discussion regarding the 13-14 maintenance grant. The district received a maintenance matching grant for the Illinois State Board of Education in 2011, and it was for approximately $100,000. Now, the grant expired on June 30th of this year, before the district was able to make those expenditures. Now, Ms. Williamson, acting superintendent previous, negotiated a one-year extension for the district, giving us until June 30th of 2014 to make those expenditures, okay? And I just received approval via email this afternoon from the State Board of Education, actually listing us on the grant recipients of that money, all right? So we are clear with the State Board of Education. What we have to do now, though, is we have to determine and expend at least $50,000 of local funds in order to get the $50,000 matching funds. All right? We do not have to spend the entire amount that was in the grant. Okay? The grant was for $148,000 some odd dollars. The grant requirements are that we spend at least $100,000. All right, at least. The district has to spend at least $100,000. We've already received the $50,000 from the State Board of Education. We spend $50,000 of our own money. We spend $100,000 of our own money. The State Board has already given us $50,000 of that. So in actuality, we will spend $50,000, use state money as the other $50,000, or we can look at it, purely, technical and say we're spending $100,000 in district local funds, and we're being reduced reimbursed for the $50,000. We already have it, so it's a wash no matter how we look at it. Okay? I have on my desk the district's identified areas of critical need for health, life, safety. Has already been, I can't say that. I don't know if the Board of Education has seen that, but this list was at some point presented to the board in your 10-year life safety audit. That was taken and transposed into the grant application. So we have all of these areas of need within the school district to get us up to speed on our health life safety program. So in the upcoming budget, as we get to that point, you will see that I will be bringing before the board a entry in the budget, the budgeting process. You will see the entry that we will be making these expenditures of our local funds so that we can also use the State Board of Education funds, so that by June 30th, 2014, we've expended our amounts, we get to keep the State Board of Education's money, and we don't have to send any money back. That's my plan. Any questions? What's that? I can provide those, yeah, but it's the directives are what was put in the grant application back in 2011. I can surely send them to the Board of Education. I'll scan it and send it. That's not a problem. Okay, great. Next is a discussion regarding our fresh fruit grant. It was brought to my attention that the Creve Coeur School District for the past 2 years, have received Illinois State Board of Education grant for fresh fruits and vegetables. This year, we did not receive that funding. We were denied. With our free and reduced lunch population and percentage, we did not qualify for the grant this year. The qualifying cutoff was 87%. Free and reduced in order to get on the state board's grant to get the money. We are only at a 70%, so we didn't qualify for the grant, unfortunately. No, 90%, about 89, 90, yeah. So, and like I said in here, this is due to an influx of Chicago Public Schools applying for the grant in 2013. So, somebody kicked off CPS and they wrote the grants and took all the money. Not unconscionable. Right. Discussion regarding Attorney General letter, E6 informational item. This was a letter that we received July 2nd in the office, and you see that on July 2nd, 2012, there was a petition to the Illinois Attorney General's office alleging that the district had violated the Open Meetings Act, failing to post its meeting minutes on the website within 10 days after approval by the board, and for not posting contracts in the amount over $25,000 on the website, as required under the law. The Illinois Attorney General's office issued this opinion a year later, I might add. That's how fast these things get through your state bureaucracy. A year later, they give us our letter declaring that the district did not violate the Open Meetings Act, and that this, in either of those regards, and the board should really just consider this issue as a result. I'm sorry?
I'll have someone uploading the website and I'll go this on, because I see job postings and other things like that.
We do job postings, that is correct. And we took down picture, and was it the opening letter, the opening paragraphs, Holly?
I took down part of it.
Part of it.
I needed to keep some of it as filler.
Right, just to hold the place, yeah. So, yes, there has been some things that have been changed on the website, but Holly's not employed during the district, by the district during summer months and like that, so we have some.
notices like we should be, because I don't think it takes very long to put this out. So is there really need to put there this out?
That's something that I can we do it? Sure, of course we can. As long as we're willing to pay Holly for her time for doing that, because she's not employed during the summer by the school district. So, okay,
Okay, when the used to be
I see. Didn't know that. So I can address that issue with Mr. Wendelin to see what's going on there. Because I have not seen minimum costs. You'll see that your attorney has a $207 minimum cost per hour. So I don't think anything is minimal anymore. Next is written communications. You'll see in your board packet that Ms. Williamson has provided a final report regarding her last weeks in the district and the things that she was thanking the board for, and just updates as to her final time in the district and then transitioning into my time coming in. That's purely for informational purposes. Superintendent's report. Gosh, I'm doing all the talking, and I really don't need to. We haven't got, I don't, usually that's exception, or accepting down here. Yeah. I missed a cover page here, and I apologize for that, so that there's some separation. Lines. So, Superintendent's report. I'd like to thank the Board of Education and the Community of Creve Coeur for accepting me as your superintendent for these upcoming years. I've had 2 weeks of busy but good time in the district. I've enjoyed meeting the staff that I've met, and I've come to this with some excitement, and hopefully everybody else will be accepting of me. I've had my meetings with the principals, Ms. McCardle and Mr. Jokic, and we seem to have kind of started off and looking in the right direction. Other communications since then, and things are going pretty well. I met with our depository bank and our treasurer just to get to know them and get some understanding of what goes on with their processes, and our treasurer. He did apologize, Kyle King did apologize for not having this to us sooner, but as everybody's summers traipse along, there's vacations and things like that. I had a meeting with Sally Mazer, who's a Tazewell County Special Education Director of Special Education District, and she gave me an overview of what they do and how they help our school district. I will be setting up meetings with other community leaders outside of the police force who came and met me on Wednesday of last week when I set off the alarm at 10:45 on that evening. And I did not have the code to stop the alarm. So, what's Stan's last name? Stan. Engel. Mr. Engel came and rescued me and turned off the alarm. But I felt bad. I don't know how he found out. Probably from before police officers that were shining their flashlights in on me and like, who are you? And what's your name? And do you have any ID? No, I don't have any ID. I work here. I don't my stuff down the hall. Is that your car out there? Yes, that's my car. I'm just here working, leave me alone. So, I hope to set up meetings with the village mayor and police chief. I have called in him already, so as I progress through the summer, I'm hoping to set up more and more meetings to meet with the community. I am pleased to announce that we have submitted a grant with the, is it Tazewell County United Way? Is it Tazewell or is it bigger and broad?
Heart of Illinois.
I'm sorry?
Heart of Illinois.
Heart of Illinois United Way. This grant was brought to our attention and we were asked to submit, given some of the identified needs in the school district. Ms. McCardle and Mr. Jokish were instrumental in putting this all together and making the submission. It is for more services for our students in need, and the grant is for about $50,000. We will see, was there any timeline for acceptance principles? I didn't see any either, so we're at their mercy. But if we are accepted, we will use that money to implement newer programs and supplement some of the things that we already have in place. We've started our preparations for Staff Institute and starting the school year. It's coming faster than we all know. So be prepared for further details as that planning continues. We held, or I didn't, but Ms. Williamson held the emergency planning meeting that needs to be held on an annual basis. So that was taken care of. All of the community first responders were invited to that meeting, and the plan was reviewed, and it is now part of our compliance that we have taken care of. There are some conferences that I will be going to this next month regarding the Attorney General's office is having a training specific for Freedom of Information Act requests for public entities and school districts. Well, actually not even public entities, just school districts, and that's going to be in Springfield. There's a school finance update and conference that's next week that Ms. Cornwell and I are going to attend, just so we can get an idea of what the new procedures and processes are going on in school finance, the updates. And then at the end of the month, there's a new superintendent's conference that's put on by the Illinois Association of School Administrators, and I will be attending that as well. So a lot of things going on this month. At the end of the month, well, not necessarily at the end of the month, there's training that we, or you as a board, there is training sessions that are a part of the package for you that was associated with your superintendent search. So it's board, new board orientation and coming together and board coherence, so to speak. I have some training dates. If you would please write these down and get back to me. These are dates that were given to me from Dr. Langdon, who's our field service representative. I convinced him, he's no longer in that position, but I convinced him to stick on and help us through and do our board training for that. August 21st, which is the day after a board meeting. September 9th, the day before a board meeting. September 11th, the day after community, sorry. That is to be determined, but usually the 6 o'clock is usually what would start, when we start. So, if you would, check your calendars and get back to me by the end of the week. That way I can get to Dr. Langdon and we can get set up. Hopefully everybody has one of those 3 days free. Going back to the community, And I'll put this one last. Going back to the community, the parents and parents and community engagement, right? PACE. What's the acronym for PACE? That's the acronym. What does it stand for? Parents and community engagement. Great. Now, they are having a meeting at 6 p.m. on July 30th at LaSalle School. I plan to attend to meet with the group and get some understanding of what is going on and what the direction is of the parents and community engagement group, where they're going, what's their direction and how they're going to move there. I think it's imperative that we get some direction, and so I want to help show that the district wants to be engaged in helping them through that process. I know that there is a lot of conflict and a lot of issues behind this whole parents group and parents organizations, and I was asked to place this on the agenda for discussion. The problem is that I don't know enough yet to intelligently discuss anything regarding any of this. So I would like to, I'm going to take the time to put into it, to study this, to find out what's going on, so that I have an understanding, and then it can be taken up by the board, and we can determine how we want to address it and deal with that. Okay? So respectfully, I would ask that you just kind of set that aside until I have gained the information that I think is needed. Nope, I don't know. That's what I mean. I don't know. The meeting was set, and that's July 30th. I don't know if that's the first meeting, the kickoff. I don't know too much about the whole situation. So that's why I want to go. I want to be, I want them to be engaging with the district, and so that we can get an understanding of how information is going to flow, how decisions are going to be made, what is the Board of Education and school district's responsibilities, what's the parents group's responsibilities, and so that we're all focused on the right things and moving in the direction that we need to move. And so that we can get this whole organization some framework and moving on the tracks. Because my goodness, what I do know, you guys are doing a great job. I mean, you raise a lot of money, and so I don't want that to fall apart. I need to keep that going. So I want to engage this group and the whole parents and communities, get you engaged, so that we can all be working toward the same goal, which is helping our kids here in the school district. Yes, 6 p.m. at LaSalle School.
Who is welcome to attend?
I assume parents and community. Right? I mean, I wouldn't see why that wouldn't be. And if there were issues in the past, let's put it this way, I'm making the invitation to the parents and community. Now, when 300 people show up, as long as you're quiet and respectful, and we can have some conversation, that's great. I want that, because these are your kids. You need to be involved, and as long as we're all acting like adults and things don't fall apart and keep our structure, I think that's great. Okay, Ms. Strong, principal's report. Mrs. Jokish, would you tell us about, and I'm going to throw you under the bus. Sure. Could you tell us about our new gym floor?
Yeah, it's looking great.
For everybody, is everybody one or no?
Yeah, it's the Just, you have to do executive session in Mr. Campbell's old office, so when you walk by there, the gym lights on, so just check that out. Already Floor Company, they've done a very good job of coming in and working on it. They were here 4th of July, they're here on weekends. It's mostly completed, except just the painting involved. They've painted the lines, now they just need to paint the weir head, there's 2 different weir head samples. That's what you have in front of you. The first warrior head is similar to what we have on the mat in there. That's on the north wall in the gym. The second warrior head is very similar to what we had in the center of the floor previously. So if you have a preference, just let me know. They would just like to know as soon as possible because they're nearing completion. And then the final part is just adding the polyurethane on it, and we'll be done. So it's looking great. They really took a lot of sanding it down. It's not nearly as dark, so the whole gym looks a lot better. It's nice. So, and other than that, it's been a busy summer, and I just want to reiterate what Mr. Aldridge had to say, that I'm just happy to get back to the swing of things. And August 15th, when teachers report, will be here before we know it. So.
We should walk on it as we pass by.
No, don't walk on it. I said walk on it.
No, you said glance at it.
Okay, yes. It's all roped off.
We just needed clarification.
Yes.
In our excitement.
Years ago, the children were not allowed, students were not allowed on the floor with their street shoes. Is that something we might want to look at again since we put all this money into it? They had to have tennis shoes, as I remember.
Right. The main thing was always that it's shoes that don't mark the floor. We still have that policy. I mean, it's athletic shoes that are. The big thing is like your market needs a black mark. That was the main thing.
If you look under the table, that's what I've been doing with these shoes. Yes, I've been making black marks. Sorry.
I can get the stick and you can clean that up. I got the tennis ball. Yep. I got the tennis ball stick. It's even got a sock.
Consensus vote tonight on the 29th.
It would be best that way when we get all read, the decision, you guys, and we can just get that going. So that's what we'd like to do.
Number 1. You guys like one? Pardon?
Number 1 looks very nice.
But if he matches the maps. But I just think the second one looks cleaner. Yes.
Which one did you said the second one is similar to the one we
Yes.
had before?
Mhm.
But
Might
the
even
first
be
one
exact.
matches the mats?
Right. And they keep asking, what's your warrior head mascot look like? I'm like, we're not very big. We just go off what companies have, what they have to offer. We roll with it. So it's never exact. Like you walk around the building, there's different warrior head logos. It's nothing uniform.
And it's a completely different way you're on the t-shirt, so. Every year.
Mr. Joe,
Okay.
is the
voting on
face one
number 1.
an option? Can I be the full face? Can it be an option?
Vote on number 2. I'll break the time.
Do what you tell me to do, Jerry. Which ones you tell me to do?
Didn't tell him to do nothing. I haven't seen it.
Thank you, Board of Education. I guess Mr. Jokic, some correction. Ms. McCardle, did you have any kind of report? I know that we never really discussed anything, even though we've been busy.
We haven't been over starting to plan for the Institute Day.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, before we do the motion, I forgot this part. There were questions about the water, you guys can share, and the 3 of you share there. Water usage by building, or the Homewood's consumption, or the water bill was high these past couple of months. So I had the numbers run, and you can see the consumption at Homewood, Parkview, LaSalle, Litchfield. So from 425 to 521, you got 38,000 gallons, 24, 61 at LaSalle, and Litchfield had a little bit. So the only thing that we can think of is that this was from 425 to 521. So students were still in session during those times, and that's the 12 months of water usage that we have. However, I had Mr. Engel go over and check urinals and tanks and toilets, and I don't know where he crawled. I don't want to know where he was crawling. But he went over and checked the building itself and did not find anything that was leaking or running continuously or anything like that. And we have a question into somebody about, is there something with the boiler system? Is it using, water? I don't know. We will have that question looked at. So I don't know why they have 38,000 gallons. Parkview only is 24, but then LaSalle is 61. Other than the little kids, they wash their hands and the big kids don't. That's the only thing I can think of for that.
And that could be true.
And I think that was the report. So thank you very much for being so indulgent in all my talking. No, I cannot, because the police chief has not returned my call. I wish I could, but I have no information regarding any of the break-in or retrieval property or anything like that. I've made 2 phone calls to the police officer, police chief. I thought maybe that's why he was sending 4 officers to come get me. But other than going down there and physically standing at his door, I don't know what else I can do. So, if anybody else has any pull, be my guest.
I don't think anybody else is.
Just call us on your mailbox and don't come up to your house.
Okay.
Let's move on
H.
to H. We need a motion, please.
I make a motion to enter into closed session for appointment, employment, performance, termination of personnel, and a review of executive session minutes.
We're adjourning to.
Roll call.
All of us.
Linda Bailey. Dan Brenner. Brenda Keeble. Val Reagan. Julie True. Rebecca Kern. Aye. Tracy Strong.
10 minutes. We need a motion to resume, please.
I'll make a motion to resume regular session.
Roll call. You got it.
Sorry.
Linda Bailey.
Aye.
Dan Brenner. Brenda Keeble. Valerie Reagan. Julie True.
Aye.
Rebecca Kern. Aye. Tracy Strong.
Yes. Going into our executive session matters, A1. Motion, please.
I make a motion to accept the resignation of Jason Gamble, special ed coordinator with regrets.
Roll call.
Linda Bailey.
Aye.
Dan Brenner. Brenda Keeble. Val Reagan. Julie True.
Aye.
Rebecca Kern. Aye. Tracy Strong.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We need a motion for J2.
I make a motion to accept the resignation of Monty Martin with regrets.
Second. Roll call, please.
Linda Bailey.
Aye.
Dan Brenner. Brenda Keeble. Val Reagan. Julie True.
Aye.
Rebecca
numbers, so this will be J3. We need a motion.
Make a motion to employ Greg Bliss as the sixth grade teacher for the school year 2013 to 2014. Second.
I'm sorry, I missed who made the,
Brenda?
Brenda?
Yes.
Yeah, second, thank you. Thank you.
Roll call, please. Linda Bailey?
Aye.
Pam Griner? Brenda Cagle? Val Reagan? Julie True?
Aye.
Rebecca Kern? Aye. Judy Strong? Yes. Motion carried. We need a motion for J4.
Make a motion to employ Michelle Davis as the food service director for a contract of 10 months, salary being $28,500. Second.
Roll call, please. Linda Bailey?
Aye.
Pam Griner? Brenda Cagle? Val Reagan? Julie True?
Aye.
Rebecca Kern? Abstain. Judy Strong? Yes. Motion carried. J5, please. Motion.
Make a motion to approve 3% raise for the non-represented employee salaries, which include SAL principal, Parkview principal, district secretary, bookkeeper, Parkview secretary, SAL secretary, tech specialist, and maintenance.
Roll call, please. Linda Bailey?
Aye.
Pam Griner? Brenda Cagle? Valerie Reagan? Julie True?
Aye.
Rebecca Kern? Aye. Judy Strong? Yes. We need a motion for J6, please.
Make a motion to employ Deborah Mueller as special ed coordinator at a salary of $50,000 for an 11-month contract beginning 2013-2014 school year.
Roll call, please. Linda Bailey?
Aye.
Pam Griner? Brenda Cagle? Val Reagan? Julie True?
Aye.
Rebecca Kern? Aye. Judy Strong? Yes. Motion carried. We need a motion for J7.
Make a motion to retain the executive session minutes of May 10th, 2013, May 22nd, 2000, May 21st, 2013, sorry, and June 18th, 2013.
Roll call, please. Linda Bailey?
Aye.
Pam Griner? Brenda Cagle? Val Reagan? Julie True? Rebecca Kern? Aye. Judy Strong? Yes. Motion carried. We need a motion for adjournment, please.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please. Linda Bailey?
Aye.
Pam Griner? Brenda Cagle? Val Reagan? Julie True?